Turns out what Biden was telling us was the bunch of garbage. And Congresswoman Harriet Hageman joins us right now. She sits on the House Judiciary Committee. Before we get into it, Congresswoman, I want to tell you I was down in New York last week covering the hearing, and I saw you in there. And despite the insulting behavior of your colleagues on the Democrat side, it was really inspiring to see people like you care about what the victims had to say. Thank you for that.
I appreciate that. That was an interesting hearing, wasn't it? The level of disdain that our Democrat colleagues showed those folks who had suffered some of the most horrific crimes imaginable was really pretty stunning to me. And I'm glad that we're getting that information out.
Absolutely. And talk about horrific and stunning. Turns out Anthony Blinken coerced intel officials to sign a letter that he knew was a lie, and apparently it was to affect the outcome of the election. In your view, as a member of the Judiciary Committee, is there any law broken here, or is this another one of these things, well, it's not a law, it's just unethical?
Well, I think that we need to dig deeper into this to find out whether there were laws that were broken. But what I think that this represents is just the level of corruption that we're dealing with in Washington, D.C., and with this particular administration. I think one of the things that's so troubling for me about Blinken is he is the Secretary of State. And when he took that position and took the oath that he did and swore to uphold the laws of the United States and the Constitution, he knew that the gentleman that he was going to work for was totally and completely corrupt and had been compromised by foreign governments through the activities of his son. So we've got a situation where one of the very top people in this administration has knowledge about the president, was willing to cover it up, was willing to get other people involved in covering it up. And now we're in a situation where we're asking questions such as, why are they allowing a Chinese balloon to cross the entirety of the United States? Why are they willing to enter into a nuclear deal with Iran? Why are they spending over $100 billion to Ukraine with no accountability and no accounting for it? So you've got to ask a lot of questions about to what extent our foreign policy is being dictated by the corruption of the Biden crime family. But you also have to understand that our Secretary of State is right in the middle of it.
It seems like all across the cabinet, Secretary of State, Mayorkas, it seems like these people are, willfully failing or acting in a manner that seems like corruption. But and in your position sitting on the Judiciary Committee, do you think you guys and gals will haul in all 51 of those intel officials who signed off on this letter?
I don't know that we will haul in all 51, but I sure hope that we're going to haul in quite a few of them. Here's the thing. Somebody needs to ask them under oath, what did you know and when did you know it? When that letter came out, when the letter from the 51 came out, I knew. I was in Wyoming at the time. I knew that it was false. Anybody with a lick of sense knew that it was false. And we knew that it was a cover-up because nobody asked the most basic questions you would ask. The most basic questions would be, what do you mean? Are you saying that the laptop is Russian disinformation? Are you saying that there's information planted on the laptop that is Russian disinformation? Are you saying that those photographs of Hunter Biden smoking cracks and engaging with prostitutes are false? I mean, what aspect of this is Russian disinformation? But none of the mainstream media ever asked those questions. The moment that this letter from the 51 former intel folks came out, everybody was like, nope, done. Russian disinformation. We have to go on.
Right.
When there were so many just basic questions that needed to be asked, and everybody knew that this was a cover-up. We all
Congresswoman, yeah, Congresswoman, a couple of years back, Nancy Pelosi, for whatever reason, took to the microphone and started explaining to the press about what she called the wrap-up smear, that, they leak some news to some folks and then they leak it to the media, and then the Congress people go out and point to it and say, see, even the media is saying it. And it seems like Blinken and company created the letter to give it to the media so that they could squelch Trump and the laptop story. It seems like right out of the Democrat playbook to me, the wrap-up smear.
Yeah, you can call it a wrap-up smear, or you can just call it regular, everyday corruption, which is what it is. You have people at the in the very highest position in this administration that are 100% corrupt. They are letting our country down. They have failed us. They're failing not only America, they're failing the world in terms of our role and our leadership role in the world, our standing. But I think people from other countries have to be looking at this and saying, what in the world is going on with these people when the head of the State Department is actually involved in something of this magnitude?
Wow.
This is pretty frightening stuff.
Absolutely. Well, look, it does make us Americans feel better to know the Republicans have the House and we're asking the real questions, and we got you out there fighting for us. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Harriet Hageman.
Thank you, John.